welcome to my tarot channel. Welcome to another reading from me. So today's topic is going to be on predictions for the next 30 days. Basically, this reading is meant to be as a kind of monthly reading, or in lieu of the monthly reading I was supposed to do for the month of June 2026. Because I was really busy and I didn't get to it. And I know that there is a segment of my viewers that are really looking forward to the monthly reading. So here I am doing a timeless reading instead of the predictions for June 2026, which means that you can apply this from any time that you come across this reading, basically for the following 30 days. As usual, these are the crystals that came out for this particular topic in this order. So pile number 1, you have this agate crystal. Pile number 2, you have this jade crystal. Pile number, sorry, I said jade. I think it's jasper, actually. Yeah, this is green aventurine, pile number 3. All right, so these are your options, again, for those of you who want to choose with just crystals. Let me try to arrange them a little bit. Okay, so these are your options, pile number 1, number 2, number 3, for those of you who want to choose with just crystals. If you want to choose with a tarot card or an oracle card, I'm going to choose those in the next segment. Before I sign off, I will remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It is the easiest way to support me and it is free. And also consider clicking on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I will upload a new reading. All right, and also, as usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question with your eyes closed. Take some deep breaths. Exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. And then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you intuitively. All right. And if you feel drawn to more than one, feel free to watch 2 or even all 3 of them and take whichever messages resonate. I will see you at your reading. All right, so this is going to be the selection phase for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. Let me get an oracle card for each of the 3 piles. Pile number 1, Spirit, tell me about the people who chose the agate crystal. What can they expect in their lives within the next 30 days from the moment they come across this reading? Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the people who chose the jasper. Okay. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the green aventurine. Ooh. Okay, so let's see. Pile number 1, you have number 22, the maiden, the mother, the crone. Pile number 1. Did I say pile number 2? I don't know what's going on. Pile number 2, you have 32, and sometimes she changes with a mermaid. Okay. Pile number 3, you have the Beltane lover with number 3 on it. Okay, that's on point. All right, so these are your options. Let me zoom in. Okay, so this is for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. Pile number 1, you have this card over here and or this agate crystal. Pile number 2, you have this card over here and or this jasper crystal. Pile number 3, you have this card over here and or this aventurine crystal. Okay, so these are your options. You can pause the video if you need more time to decide. As usual, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question. You can also maybe incorporate some more personal questions if you want advice about particular topics. However, I would recommend that you mainly stay on topic with respect to predictions for the next 30 days so that the messages will be as clear as possible. And yeah, you can keep your eyes closed, take some deep breaths, exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. And then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you intuitively without overthinking it. And before I sign off, of course, I will remind you to please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so already, it is the easiest way to support me and it's free. And of course, don't forget to click on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new tarot reading. And also feel free to comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to share or ideas for future topics that you would like me to cover. Yeah. This has been pretty much everything I wanted to say. I will see you at your pile. Okay, so apparently I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I'm sorry about this, pile number 1. So I lost the footage where I chose the first 3 cards, but you're gonna just have to take my word for it that I chose these cards out of this deck naturally. As you can see, I left them exactly in the order and the position that they fell. It's just my camera just went dark and apparently it didn't record. All right, so I'm going to continue. So Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can they expect from the following 30 days from the moment that they come across this reading? Okay, we have 6 cards. So let's see. Trying not to tear down the entire set. We have the Star, we have the Sun, we have the 2 of Wands, we have the 4 of Wands, we have the 10 of Swords, and we have the Temperance. Let's see some more cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can they expect from the next 30 days from the moment that they come across this reading? Ooh. The Lovers, the King of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, the Death, the Emperor, and the 9 of Wands. Okay. Let me try to arrange everything. Okay, let's see. Some oracle cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can they expect from the next 30 days? Home, number 35. That boils down to a number 8. It is Saturn energy. Let's see some more. Spirit, tell me about, hold on just a second. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can they expect from the next 30 days? Shark, purpose, number 36, which boils down to a number 9 in numerology. That's Mars energy. All right. And let me also get one from the Shaman wisdom card. Spirit, what can pile number 1 expect from the following 30 days? Sage, number 27, again boils down to a number 9. That's Mars energy. Masculine, South, Jupiter, air. Let me read the description for this from the booklet. Masculine, South, Jupiter, air. I am sage, I am sacred, I am here to clear the air, to remove negativity, and to offer you protection. Watch your health and reestablish your connection with the earth. Meditation is the timeless wisdom of the sage. If you are out of balance or under stress, utilize my healing properties. Communication skills are important, whether you are giving or receiving. I am the sacred smoke. I am smudge. Okay, nice. This gives me Rahu energy a little bit as well, but I'm going to see what else comes out with respect to that. I don't know where to put this card so that it doesn't ruin the entire decoration over here. Okay, I'm just going to put it here. I think you can see it, sort of. Here. Okay. And then, of course, you also have this maiden, mother, and crone, which I find really interesting. And again, number 22 is about materialism, material realization in the world. It also kind of gives me Rahu energy a lot of the time. So that's North Node of the moon for those of you who come from, tropical astrology as opposed to Vedic. And then you also have this death card, which is about transformation. And it also has the number 13 on it, which boils down to a number 4 as well. So I feel like right off the bat, there is some heavy transformational energy here. Then we also have the number 8, which again is transformation because it is ruled by Saturn or Pluto, depending on how you look at it. Again, whether it's a tropical or a Vedic perspective of astrology. And number 8, of course, also corresponds to Scorpio, which is about transformation, and the 8th house, right? So Scorpio, the 8th sign, corresponds to the 8th house. And then you also have this like heavy Mars energy, which makes sense here because of the number 9 that came out in outcome. All right, so I'm going to see more about that as I go along. But right off the bat, if I were to choose one word for this following month for you, pile number 1, it would be transformation, because clearly there is some kind of purging going on and, like a release of the old ways of doing things. And I also, I'm really getting the message that you're probably in some kind of a transitional phase, some kind of major shift in your life. Because you have this maiden, mother, and crone energy. Maybe some of you are, at that stage in life where you're like, especially as a woman, not just as a woman, but I think as a woman, we're way more conditioned to kind of see our lives as cycles, if that makes sense, as you see these archetypes, of the maiden, mother, and crone. So I think maybe as a woman, you are in some stage of life where you're kind of like, in between seasons, so to speak, or in between major cycles of life. You're let's say early 30s, or like maybe some of you are, around menopause, you're about to reach menopause, like these kinds of major cycles that a woman goes through, like when it comes to her fertility or something like that, that could be a thing. It doesn't have to be. Irrespective of whether you're a woman or not, this is definitely about ending some kind of a cycle and starting a new one. So this is what I see right off the bat. So then we have the Star and we have the Lovers. All right. So this is showing me, and also, again, we have the number 8 here on the Star, because we have the number 17, which is a 1 plus 7, and that boils down to an 8. And the Star with the Lovers shows me that you are in a pretty good spot right now when you're coming across this reading. It tells me that in recent history, or around the time when you come across this reading, you are feeling pretty appreciated. You're feeling pretty loved, maybe more than usual. Maybe you are feeling like you're finally finding your tribe. Some of you are, just starting to actually find a decent relationship, maybe, for the first time in a long time, maybe for the first time ever, because of that Lover's energy. However, the Lover's energy does not just refer to romance. It could just be the energy of love in general. So I feel like around this time, you are just feeling more self-love and at the same time more love from others than you have felt in a long time. And yeah, the Star also shows me a lot of visibility. So this would be especially true for those of you who maybe are in a position where you are dealing with large groups of people on a regular basis. This could be, of course, because you have, let's say, online following, but it could also refer to people who work with a lot of people on a regular basis. I don't know, you are a teacher, or you're, an actor on stage, or let me think, I don't know, you're a public speaker, right? So that Star energy shows me that a lot of people admire you and you feel a lot of appreciation around this time when you come across this reading. And then we have the Sun, and clarified by the King of Pentacles in support. So this, again, especially with that Sun energy. So the Sun is, again, Leonian energy. It's about confidence. It's vitality. It's heart chakra, you know, doing what you love. So this is showing me that throughout this following month, you are going to feel really motivated. You're going to have this energy of finally knowing. Again, I'm saying finally because maybe for a lot of you, this is a new thing, especially since you have this message of being in between major cycles in life, right? So it feels like this is a new stage in your life where you're maybe more comfortable in your skin than you have been in a long time. You feel more purposeful. You feel more clarity with respect to your sense of identity, with respect to your purpose. And there's a lot of motivation and a lot of vitality that is carrying you through over the next 30 days. Then we have, this is a pretty strong message here. I mean, look at this. You have the Two of Wands and we have the Two of Swords underneath. So there's almost like this double message of hesitation and pondering. And this is what is standing in opposition from you, pile number one. And so this gives me a message that you might be someone who, even though, you know, you're feeling this inspiration, this determination, this confidence, and a strong sense of motivation, I feel like there still might be parts of you that are, you know, kind of like sitting on the fence. Because again, this would make sense really for someone who is trying to change their lives after doing things a certain way for a very long time. So it feels like maybe even though you feel like things are finally moving in the direction that you want them to move, you're still anxious. You're anxious about leaving the old ways of doing things behind, leaving your old self behind, really. I want to get some clarifications just to maybe get more specific messages. Let me see. Spirit, please clarify the Two of Wands over here. Ten of Wands. Please clarify the peace. I said the peace, but please clarify the Two of Swords. It says peace on the card. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's a repeated theme because we have the Ten of Wands, we have the Hanged Man. And so the Ten of Wands is a more specific message. And it definitely ties into that sun energy as well as the Ten of Swords. Because the number 10 boils down to a number 1. And the number 1 is ruled by the sun in numerology. And this tells me that this Ten of Wands here is connected to that sun energy that you are more in touch with, that also has a lot of positive influence on your life, no doubt. The fact that you have more vitality, more confidence, etc. You probably feel more comfortable being looked at, right? Maybe taking a center stage position even. But then on the other hand, that Ten of Wands kind of talks about hyper independence. So it's like you're sitting on the fence with respect to, should you continue to be self-reliant the way that you have been for a very long time, or should you make more effort to trust other people to get out of your shell, to get out of your comfort zone, and, you know, maybe learn that you might get support in the process, you know, once people get to know you, once you start to open up, etc. And then we have the Two of Swords here, clarified by the Hanged Man. And it's also interesting because the Hanged Man has the number 12 on it, which boils down to a number 3, which is ruled by Jupiter. And you did have the Jupiter energy connected to this Oracle card as well. About, look, it says here, masculine, south, Jupiter, air. All right. Air as well, which is Two of Swords energy. So the way that I would see this, again, is this repeated message that there might be a little bit of overthinking here. And the Hanged Man, again, is kind of like, you feel, again, you're feeling indecisive about which way to go. And you might be really overthinking. Doing all that. And again, because this is an opposition, this is showing me more of a negative side. And that's why I say overthinking. Because you might take too long, you might hesitate too long, and potentially miss out on opportunities because you are too busy, you know, weighing all the pros and cons and not taking action. And then we have the Four of Wands and we have the Death here. This is a potentially, well, not potentially, it is pretty negative in some ways, but again, I want to get more clarification. Please clarify the Four of Wands. I do feel like for some of you, this could be about divorce. Please clarify the Death. Seven of Swords. Okay. Please clarify the Queen of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So we have this Four of Wands clarified by Queen of Swords, clarified by Nine of Pentacles, and we have the Death clarified by Seven of Swords. Yeah, so because of the Seven of Swords here, now the Seven of Swords can be interpreted in two different ways. Like I said, I really think for some of you, this could be about a divorce or the ending of a significant, see, it may not necessarily just be divorce, but some kind of massive betrayal. Someone going behind your back. And again, this could have been a repeated theme, like multiple people betraying you. And because what I'm seeing here is the Queen of Swords is a very no-nonsense energy. And again, we have that Rahu energy. We have, now that I think about it, there is also a lot of Rahu energy here because Rahu is the co-ruler of Aquarius, and there's a lot of Aquarian theme in this spread. We have the Star, we have the Queen of Swords, which I see as very Aquarian, and we have the number 4 coming out, and then we have that, message from the Oracle card with the Sage that, like I said, is about burning smoke. So, like, in Vedic astrology, Rahu is about smoke. And I really think that you have been the kind of person, now I could be going off on a limb, but again, this is a general tarot read, so take it how it resonates. But it strikes me like you are the kind of person that have been betrayed, massively in the past, possibly by multiple people that you really trusted, that you really cared about. And as a result of that, you became very kind of hyper rational and very focused on creating your own sense of well-being, your own sense of wealth as well, a sense of self-sufficiency with that Nine of Pentacles. And to some extent, at least, you have reached a decent measure of success in a conventional sense. Like in the past, you have really been motivated by achieving a sense of stability and security and a sense of control over your life. And again, I see that to a large extent, you have achieved that. So this has been like your past pattern. And then we have the Ten of Swords and the Emperor. I have to say, okay, I'm going to hold that thought because I don't want to be too negative, but let's see. Please clarify the Ten of Swords, Spirit. Five of Cups. Please clarify the Emperor. Whoops, we have the Star again. So that's good because this is the future. So I have the Five of Cups underneath the Ten of Swords. And again, the Emperor clarified by the Star. Now, I have to say, there's no way around this. The Ten of Swords is not a positive card. It actually, again, in this context, again, it could mean multiple things, but I would tend to read it as you're reaching a level of a lot of tiredness. And again, you have the number 10 here. You know, just like, so you have the Ten of Swords, like I said, you have the Ten of Wands, and you have that Sun. So there's that Sun energy. And because of this, like, it's clarified by the Five of Cups. So I think there's a very clear message here that Spirit is telling you that you really might be overworking yourself. You might be pushing yourself too hard. And the reason behind this is because you want to make the most of everything that you have in front of you. So the Five of Cups is an energy of, again, feeling like you might be missing out, feeling like, you know, there are opportunities around you that you want to make the most of. On the one hand, that's one way to look at it. And on the other hand, again, tying into that Ten of Wands and the Two of Wands, I think that there might be an issue with you and hyper independence, especially the context of the past and what it shows. I think that you're the kind of person that, because you feel like you have to do everything by yourself, you're afraid to ask for help. And I think you feel more isolated than you should feel, basically, because you don't even notice that other people might be willing to help or that other people are there for you, really, because you're so focused on, you know, getting a sense of control and doing your own thing, you know. And especially since we have this Emperor here with the Star, I feel like within the next 30 days, and again, this might continue after a little bit as well, you're someone who, and actually this could be beyond the next 30 days a little bit as well, because this is a future, like I said. So it could be, yeah, within the next 30 days and maybe beyond that. Because of this Emperor, right, clarified by the Star, and again, the Emperor has the number 4 on it. So this is, again, giving me Rahu energy. Like, and especially with the Nine of Pentacles, I have to say, like, you give me the impression of someone who's extremely materialistic. Especially here. I mean, here we have the number 36 and we have purpose. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, we have shark with purpose. And, I mean, it's really telling, I feel like, that this card came out for you, because when you think about a shark, right, they're, I don't know if you know this about sharks, but like when they go for the kill, they shut their eyes. Basically, there's like a lid that comes over their eyes to protect them. And they actually, a lot of the times, will attack upside down even. I don't remember what the reasoning behind this is. But the bottom line is that because of this reflex, you know, to close their eyes in a way, quote unquote, because it's not a conscious thing, but, you know, this lid comes over. And this thing of, you know, like there's like this energy of complete abandonment towards their purpose, basically. Like when they go for the kill, it's like they're dangerous. That's when they're most dangerous, and it's also when they're most vulnerable, you know, because like when you are busy pursuing a goal so intensely, you shut down the rest of the world. Like you don't see anything else, right? And that, in a way, leaves you vulnerable to attacks because you're so single-minded and you're, you know, keeping your eyes on the prize, and you may not see things that might be hitting you from the side or something, you know what I mean? And maybe this is like, you know, it may seem like overly philosophical, but again, this is a tarot reading, so I'm going with the flow. This is where the flow is taking me. And you know, with the home here, number 35, and again with the number 8 showing up on the home, this really, in this context, really makes me think that this is about some kind of family drama, you know, like, especially since you have this, like, number 4 in the past. There is either a sense of obligation that you have towards your family of origin or towards the family that you have created as an adult. You know, like, especially if you are divorced, right? You feel like you want to give the best possible life to your kids, right? Or, again, maybe you are married right now. And, I mean, hello, you do have the lovers over here. And you want to create the best possible future for you and your partner and for your future children. And so you're extremely focused on getting your goals and getting this material success, right? And making the most of opportunities and having power and stability with that Emperor. And with the Star underneath it, makes me realize that you are going to be using that popularity that you have with the Star, right? So your ability to lead others, to address to an audience, to maybe, you know, charm an audience or something, somehow is going to be what you're going to be working through, you know, and what you're going to be working with to achieve your goals materially and financially. However, there is this warning that you might be heading towards burnout, all right? And so, again, kind of makes me think about this, like, sage masculine self. And here, the Jupiter is interesting again because you have the number 3 coming out twice here with these cards as well. We have 35 and 36. So you have number 3, you have number 3 here as well. So number 3 again is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion and ambition. So yeah, there's this energy of overexertion basically. So there are 2 main messages, right? So there is, now the fact that you are driven, that you're ambitious is not a bad thing. But you need to also make sure that you are realistic with respect to your physical limitations and take care of your health as well. Oh my God, I just realized that it was a message actually in this card to take care of your health. So this could definitely be a very strong message about burnout, right? Or again, because you're so busy like that shark, you know, heading for the kill, that you just don't, you ignore everything, right? You just ignore your needs. Maybe you're someone who is undersleeping, you're not eating properly. So, you know, it's like the more you neglect, the higher the chances will be that, you know, I don't know, your body is going to start to break down when you least expect it. Just throwing it out there again, don't shoot the messenger. Then we have the Temperance here with Mercury, because Temperance has the number 14 on it. I don't want to mess up the arrangement, but it does normally have the number 14 on it. Here it is, 14, all right? That's as low as I can take it. And then we have the number 9 here with Jon Snow. Again, I'm sorry, it's just whenever I see these cards, this kind of looks like Jon Snow. You cannot tell me that it doesn't look like Jon Snow, okay? Like Jon Snow after he spent probably 2 decades at the Night's Watch and killed some, I was going to say zombies, but no, they were called White Walkers because he has a bandaged head is what I'm saying. Anyway, so we have this Temperance and we have this 9 of Wands. Hold on. I want to clarify. Please clarify the Temperance. I have an idea. Ooh, we have the 9 of Wands again. What? The 9 of Wands came out and the Lovers came out again. Crap. And please clarify this 9 of Wands over here. And don't give me the 9 of Wands. Oh, you can't give me the 9 of Wands because it fell out. All right, we have Queen of Pentacles. All right. So, the outcome here with the Temperance, all right? So, there is a repeated 9 of Wands energy. And this is, again, a lot of Mars energy as well. And in numerology, the number 9 is not just connected to Mars, but it also represents the end of a cycle. And again, as a parenthesis, maybe for some of you, this is a personal number 9 year. That could be a thing. Or maybe a personal number 1 year. I would maybe stretch it to a personal number 8 or number 2 as well, because that would be like you're right around the turn of a new cycle beginning or ending in your life, right? So it would make sense a lot with these like messages of changes and everything. But either way, all right, so like this 9 of Wands energy shows a lot of Mars, so that shows a lot of drive, okay? So on the one hand, as a result of the following 30 days, you are definitely looking at developing more independence, more of a fighting spirit, more confidence, right? And on the other hand, there is definitely this message of financial abundance that is coming in. So you will be having a higher financial status by the end of the next 30 days. And then last but not least, we have a repetition of the Lovers, which is showing me a continuation of this heart chakra energy, right? So this loving energy, which again, since it came out twice, of course, it could also refer to the possibility of a new relationship. However, irrespective of whether this is about romance or not, this is about love in itself, being a part of your life, like you being in a more loving phase, being more true to yourself, because the heart chakra is about what makes you happy, what makes you purposeful in life, right? So it's getting in touch with that inner child energy of doing things for fun, right? Hobbies that maybe you have abandoned in the past will be resurfacing by the end of this month, right? Or you might discover new things that make you happy, that put you in the flow, right? So there's more of this energy of self-care and self-love. I just hope that you won't have to go through some kind of major burnout in order for you to learn that it's important to love yourself. I feel like this is an important message that is coming through the spread, so I have to say it. And let me get some Astro cards right now to get more details. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What will the following 30 days bring into their lives? Oh my gosh. Capricorn, the boss. Mercury, mind and speech, makes sense. Sagittarius, Aries, makes a lot of sense. And second house, resources and values. All right. So Capricorn, Mercury, Sagittarius, Aries, and second house. This makes a lot of sense because, like I said, there is that Saturn energy. The number 8 came out. And, of course, through the cards with the number 10. By the way, I did say number 10 might connect to the sun, but it could also connect to Capricorn, since Capricorn is the 10th house of the zodiac. Is the 10th sign of the zodiac. Or house, actually, as well. And Capricorn is about career. So this makes a lot of sense. And also, it would make a lot of sense that we have Mars and Capricorn energy because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So people who have Mars in Capricorn, by the way, you might have it. I don't know. But Mars in Capricorn people tend to be very ambitious, right? Or Mars in the 10th house. That could also be a thing. So they tend to be very ambitious, very career oriented. So very go-getterish and potentially workaholic. So there is a lot of energy being focused on career, and definitely an increase of social status, a slow and steady increase of social status. And that Aries is a confirmation of the 9 of Wands coming out twice, like you becoming more of, developing more of that fighting spirit, of that purposefulness, because Aries is also about pioneering, right? So it is actually the beginning of a cycle. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So this also is telling in this context, because it's like by the end of this month, you will have this rebirth of motivation, of energy, right? A surge of purposefulness and basically throwing yourself headfirst towards whatever your purpose is. And I think for most of you, again, this is very strongly about career, finances, because we also have Mercury in the second house. These are both connected to business, to money. And Sagittarius can also show that within the next 30 days, you might travel. You might have a desire or an opportunity to travel more. And both of these, like being fire signs, Sagittarius and Aries, this could also show you're going to be more physically active. And then the second house, this is especially within the context of health that came out for you twice, at least, with the 10 of Swords and the Oracle card that told you to take care of your health. So the second house can refer to the face. So anything connected to your face might become an issue, might become areas that you need to watch out for in terms of developing health problems. Again, I don't want to sound negative, but I feel like I have a duty to give this message because, again, it came out strongly. So again, anything, eyes, nose, teeth, mouth, also the throat, okay, vocal cords, esophagus, I don't know, tonsils, right? So like all these things could, of course, the skin on your face, etc. So these things might show vulnerabilities within the next 30 days. And the second house is also about your diet. So this could also be a message about watch your diet, and that maybe if you do watch your diet, potential health issues that you may have could be avoided, all right? And then Mercury is showing that you will have this very open, curious mind. There will be ample opportunities for communication, maybe for some social mingling as well. And then Mercury also shows that you will be learning a lot within the next 30 days. Now, this could be, formal, informal, but Mercury is pretty much the energy of the student. It's this very youthful, curious energy that feels very motivated to understand a lot of things, right? And Mercury can also, again, it does connect to business. So this could also show that you might develop your income, right? Or you might develop multiple streams of income. Second house, by the way, is also, like it says, resources. So second house is the house of savings. And again, this shows me that within the next 30 days, you're going to be very focused on savings. And chances are that if you keep up your efforts, because with Capricorn being there is a message that you need to stick with it. So don't expect like magical solutions. But if you are diligent, if you work hard, you are bound to have a bigger amount in your savings account by the end of the month, sorry, and a stronger sense of security as well, which I saw through the cards is definitely a priority for you. Okay, last but not least, let me get the Astro dice. So let's see if we have confirmations over here. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can pile number 1 expect within their lives within the next 30 days? Oh my God. We have Taurus again, which can be seen as a confirmation of the second house, because there is a correlation between houses and signs of the zodiac, of course. So since Taurus is the second sign, a lot of its energy is also found in the second house. And then we have the number 4 again, which again makes me think of Rahu, even though Rahu per se did not come out. But we do, and by the way, we have the number 4 and we have the moon. So there's definitely something going on with the home base, pile number 1. Again, you actually have the message of the home. You had that number 4 in the past. So let me put it like this. Within this context, it could mean 2 things. Again, bear in mind, this is a general reading. I have to say this, right? So this may not, different things will resonate to different people. But for some of you, the number 4 could be taken in a very literal sense, in the sense that maybe you're going to be spending more time at home. Maybe you're going to have the chance to renovate your home, redecorate your home, beautify your home in some way that you have wanted. Maybe on the contrary, it could be about downsizing or something. But there could be something going on by the end of the next 30 days. There will be some kind of significant change within your home environment, right? For some of you, if you take it to an extreme, this could also have to do with relocation. However, again, I don't have like very, very strong messages in that direction. But like I said, since it's a general reading, it is a possibility, because there's this message of change and then the home environment, right? So that could be happening. But then for others of you, this is very, very much connected to your family of origin. It's very much connected to, especially the mother, any kind of mother wounds that you have, any kind of drama that you have in your relationship to your mother. Maybe, especially if you're a woman and you are a mother, this could be like you undergoing some kind of transformation with respect to how you see yourself as a mother, or with respect to your parenting techniques. If I am to look at it from a very spiritual perspective, this could be about, like I said, so like healing something in the relationship that you have with your mother. And, the moon is, if you look at it in a more broad sense, it's also about the subconscious. So again, there could be something like you are going to become more imaginative, more open to your subconscious. Like you might have more vivid dreams within the next 30 days. You might be more in your feels, I guess, like more emotional and more sensitive. And on the other hand, you're also potentially going to be more creative and nurturing. And I have to say, with the second house and the moon coming out, I mean, basically you have a lot of moon here. So like the moon energy is coming out twice here. And then you have Taurus in the second house, which is, again, basically the same energy. So both the second house and the fourth house in astrology, and Vedic astrology especially, are literally the 2 only houses that both connect to the family of origin. Okay, so these are like the only 2 houses that strongly connect to the family of origin, especially the second house, right? So the second house is more general. The fourth house is the mother and the mother side of the family. Now, you also have, like, by the way, 10th house can also be the house of the father. 9th house can also be teachings of the father, but those are more like, the 9th and the 10th house. They're not primarily only connected to the father. These houses, on the other hand, the second and the fourth house, they're very strongly connected to the family, the impact from your family of origin, and I've said this, for instance, on my astrology channel. By the way, I will be linking it in the video description. It's called Astro-Martine if you are interested in checking it out. But I've said this on many times on my astrology channel, that the second house is connected oftentimes to psychotherapy, as far as I have seen in empirical research, because I actually did a video on my astrology channel where I talked about what makes a good psychotherapist, and I went over the horoscopes of a lot of famous psychotherapists, and so many of them have a very prominent second house, which doesn't surprise me, even though you don't often hear about it in conventional astrology. But it doesn't surprise me because the second house, again, connects to the family of origin. And when you think about psychology, a lot of it is about analyzing how the early family relations have impacted the child, right? So I really think that within the next 30 days, there might be some significant breakthrough happening between, like, with respect to, let's say, any kind of issues or wounds that you've had connected to your family of origin, or maybe with understanding your psychology, right? So understanding how your family impacted you in new ways. Like I said, like some kind of a breakthrough with respect to your thought patterns and, you know, you reaching a higher level of self-awareness. That could also be a thing. But then again, that moon with the 4th house and the Taurus, and again, by the way, the moon is exalted in Taurus as well. So the moon is happy in Taurus because Taurus is very stable, and it's also a placement that makes a person very security loving, all right? So it really makes me feel like you're someone who is in search of security, and by the end of the following 30 days, you are definitely going to reach a higher level of security, and at the same time, you're going to reach a higher level of understanding and potentially healing a lot of why you are so driven towards security in the first place. Oh my God, I just realized this. Because you have the maiden, the mother, the crone. So again, I could be going off on a limb here, but I really feel like pile number 1, there might be some wounding going on in your family lineage, you know, passing on from one generation to another from the mother side of the family. So it's like a female wound thing. And there's something happening within the next 30 days that is going to help you, again, reach a higher level of understanding about this issue, a higher level of self-awareness, and potentially some breakthrough when it comes to healing these, let's say, transgenerational traumas, if you will. And I really think a lot of this comes from you learning to love yourself and taking care of yourself as well. This is why this is a repeated message here as well. Okay, another thing that I wanted to say is the number 4 can also speak of vehicles. So maybe something connected to vehicles is going to come to the forefront within the next 30 days. Like you're going to get a new car, you know, or yeah, something like that. I don't know. This could also be about traveling or participating in racing, you know, whether it's boat racing or car racing or bike racing or something. Because like I said, so the 4th house can be vehicles. Yeah, it can also be real estate. So this is more specific, but for some of you, I don't know, especially if you work in real estate or you work in the restaurant business, again, this is an even stronger message that there will be some significant increase of your financial status, right? Of your potentially social status. Maybe you're going to have more success at work. And like I said, reach a higher level of financial stability by the end of the month. Okay, this is pretty much what I have for you, pile number 1. Oh, there's one more thing that I wanted to say that maybe did not come through. Second house is also, and Venus in general, so Taurus to some extent also connects to that, but second house is about self-worth. So again, I really feel like this is a repeated message that you need to work on self-worth, and chances are, again, that you are going to increase your sense of self-worth, self-esteem by the end of the next 30 days. If you put conscious effort into it, of course. Okay, this has been, now, finally, pretty much what I see for you, pile number 1. Again, repeated messages, pretty strong messages. Please let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I definitely have enjoyed it. And I think, yeah, again, like the messages did tie into one another. I think they're very strong. And yeah, I really hope that you make the most of this advice. And once again, if you have listened to this video and if you have liked it, don't forget to like the video by clicking on the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It's the easiest way to support me and it's free. Consider clicking on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I will upload a new tarot reading. And of course, comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to share or ideas for future topics that you would like me to cover. As long as you keep everything polite, of course, I will take everything into account. Aside from that, if you're interested in getting a private tarot reading, check out the video description. You can email me for more information, you know, for a pricing list, reading options, any details you're curious about. And if you look into the video description, you will also see a link to a blog post that I made with reviews I got from clients before, you know, for private readings. So if you check those out, again, might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me. Aside from that, if you would like to support this channel further and also have access to more content, you can consider becoming a member. You can click on the join button under the video or any other video, and you will see the prices for different memberships in your local currency. You can also see all the videos that I posted so far in the members only section. If you also search for something like members or members only videos on my channel, you can see all the titles. And I think you can also see them if you click on the join button and scroll through that menu. Aside from that, of course, you can support my channel further if you share this video with anyone you know might be interested in tarot. You can also consider leaving a tip. Any amount is much appreciated by using the $ under the video. And last but not least, I also have an astrology channel, as I have mentioned during the reading. It's called Martine. I will be linking it in the video description as well. I focus mainly on Vedic astrology there, since I have more than 10 years of experience in reading astrology charts through the Vedic perspective, and I have more than 10 years of experience of reading through tropical before I got into Vedic. So in total, that's more than 2 decades, and yes, I'm in my late 30s now. Aside from that, yeah, so I am basically an astrology nerd, and I mainly stick to the Vedic perspective, which means that I use the sidereal zodiac and the whole sign house system because I have found that to be the most accurate over the years. And on my channel, I like to use a lot of practical examples. I like to read a lot of horoscopes of famous people and whatnot to exemplify the configurations that you can find in astrology and how they play out in people's lives. And yeah, so if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check out my astrology channel. Maybe subscribe to it. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! Welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen this card over here with the number 32, and sometimes she changes, and or this red jasper crystal. So this is going to be the card selection phase. I am going to add timestamps if you want to skip directly to the interpretation. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What can pile number 1 expect from the following 30 days of their lives? What is going to happen? Ooh. 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 Okay. Some pretty strong cards. Okay. Did I say pile number 1? I don't know what is going on. Like, I keep saying the wrong numbers. Is Mercury retrograde? I haven't even checked, honestly, because I am busy with exams. As I have complained in some of my previous videos, if you paid attention. But anyway, they're ongoing. It is not over till the fat lady sings, you know what I mean? Anyway, so we have the 7 of Swords, we have the Hanged Man, we have the Star, we have the Lovers, we have the 4 of Wands, we have the Emperor. Let me get some more cards. Spirits, tell me about pile number 2. What are the following 30 days of their lives going to bring into their lives? Ooh. 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 shut up. Okay, so we have Queen of Wands, we have Judgment, we have Six of Swords, we have 10 of Pentacles, we have the Hanged Man again, we have the Devil. All right, let me get some oracle cards. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What can they expect from the following 30 days of their lives? Take off your mask, or masks, parenthesis. And look at that. We have the number 2 on this card. I feel like that's telling. The card number 2 for pile number 2. All right. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What can they expect from the following 30 days of their lives? Sea Otter transformation with the number 18. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Number 18. I don't know. It's not particularly clear, but there it is. I think you can see it. So number 18 is kind of like the ending of a cycle. All right. Let's put it here. Okay, Sea Otter. I like the fact that the card matches the seashells. I appreciate that. Thank you, Spirit. That's a nice touch. So let's get another oracle card here from the Shaman wisdom cards. I love these. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What can pile number 2 expect from the following 30 days of their lives? Ooh. 21, Bear, Southwest, Masculine, Fire. So 21, again, we have the number 2. It's interesting to note that the shift here moves from a 2 to a 1. Number 2. And I kept calling you pile number 1 when I was shuffling. So by the way, if you feel drawn to pile number 1, definitely check it out because there might be messages there for you. But again, only if you feel drawn to it. All right, so I'm going to read the description for this card from the booklet. Number 21. I am Bear. I am curious and reflective. Rummaging around the forest floor, my long, powerful claws work away at the newly fallen tree. As my curious tongue works its way along the coarse bark, I find sweet-tasting sap, the truth of life in the tree. I digest the experience fully, enjoying the now of the moment. I am alert, but unmoved by what goes on around me. In fact, a large portion of my living is spent in the dream lodge of introspection, where quiet, peaceful relaxation brings rejuvenation. I possess abundant supply for my time of slumber. The supply exists in me before the demand occurs. I am very powerful and solidly convincing. I am healing and intuitive knowing. I am curious and reflective. By letting me lumber into your life today, you are accepting the dynamic power of my medicine. Taste life, sample its diversity. And when the hour comes for you to rest, enter the dream time complete with all you need to sustain yourself. You may need to spend more time in contemplation and meditation. My medicine is a place of perfect balance and harmony. Survey your surroundings mentally and physically. This will bring the answers you seek. A lot of messages from this Bear spirit, pile number 2. And while I was reading it, I couldn't help but remember how I've heard some traditional Vedic astrologers reference the bear as a symbol for Bharani Nakshatra. Kind of also rhymes. And again, without getting too philosophical, since I've also looked into numerology a lot, my theory is that when people select a name for something, it's because that name has a vibration and energy, right? Because again, in numerology, a name boils down through the Pythagorean system or through the Chaldean system or a Chaldean, however you read it, right? Every letter is assigned to a number, so you can boil down to a name to an energy, a number, right? And each of those numbers are basically attached to a vibration. And I think the very fact that Bear and Bharani kind of sound similar, is a sign that, you know, the Vedic astrologers spotted some truth into that, even though it's not coming from traditional, Vedic texts, because traditionally Bharani is associated to the elephant. But there is this energy of, massive inertia, right? And also this energy of slow, deliberate movement. You know how this card said, I'm alert, but I'm also in the moment. You know, like I'm alert, but I also enjoy. So like there's this energy of like, not giving a F basically about threats or people trying to bother you. Also makes me think of that song, The Bare Necessities, that Baloo the bear was singing in the Jungle Books, or the Jungle Book. So yeah, this is something that I saw, and like I said, you do have this repeated messages. So you have these repeated messages like take off your mask with the number 2. And again, we have the number 18 here, which is boiling down to a 9, which in numerology could correspond to the end of a cycle because the numbers go from 1 to 9. So usually when people go through a number 9 personal year, that's seen as like the end of a cycle. So it's like preparing the path for a new beginning in life. All right. So maybe for some of you, I don't know, you might be going through a personal number 9 or number 1, right? Where you're right at either the beginning of a cycle or you're about to end a cycle of 10 years, basically. 10 or 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. Because there's no 0. And anyway, so you do have this Barney or / bear energy. And then we have this, and sometimes she changes with this mermaid who again with the bear, there was that repeated message of slumber. Like don't be afraid to rest. And then she in here is sleeping under the moon. And it says, and sometimes she changes. And she's just casually being a mermaid. But there's also, I feel like with this card, there's like a message that she might be transforming into a human, because like she's a mermaid in a bathtub under the moon or something, asleep. But there is this like message with the sleeping about number 1, needing to rest. And like it said, spend more time in meditation and contemplation. So that is a message of slowing down, being more mindful, more purposeful, more deliberate, more self-aware. And then we have the Hangman coming out twice in different positions in this spread. So I'm going to get to that in a bit. But first we have the 7 of Swords and we have the Queen of Wands. So this shows me that around the time when you come across this reading, you're plotting strategies about something, all right? You're being very strategic about... Oh my God, right off the bat, I was getting a message of shadow side with the Queen of Wands, because Queen of Wands in tarot is connected to having a shadow side. And again, you do have the message of take off your mask. Wow. This is going to be very random, but for some of you, this might, like, I just got a message that maybe some of you are coming out, or like you're afraid to come out, or maybe like you're questioning your sexuality. This is very random, but I feel like I had to say it because it was such a strong message that just hit me. That could be a thing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be with, connected to sexuality. This could be just you questioning or like redefining who you are in some major way. Like maybe you have recently rediscovered something, like you have recently discovered something new about yourself that made you question what you actually want from life, or how your future should look. See how this resonates, but this is a vibe that I'm getting. It might also make sense with this, and sometimes she changes message, because there's somehow... And that, in the Hangman, there's this message of like, coming to terms with changes, like coming to terms with the fact that you are changing in some way, or that you have just realized something about yourself that you cannot unsee. I'm very curious to hear your feedback, because these are some pretty specific things here. But going back to that 7 of Swords and the Queen of Wands, all right? So like I was saying, this is like plotting strategies. So like for some of you, this is why I got the message of coming out, because this is like for some of you, depending on how self-aware you are, right? This could be about you plotting how you can be yourself more, So that's why coming out would make sense, right? Or just, again, doesn't have to be necessarily about sexuality, but like you are thinking about how you can be more authentic, how you can make more space for your true self in your life. And again, this is like happening around the time when you come across this reading. So it's like your current state. I want to get a clarification because I'm curious. All right, I need to know. Please clarify. I've just got, now you're just somebody that I used to know. Are you breaking up with yourself, pile number 2? Wow. I also wonder if people here have placements in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, because that nakshatra is associated to being two-faced, or like a two-faced man. Anyway, please clarify the 7 of Swords. Oh. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, pile number 2. I have to say, I empathize. I'm not making fun. I'm not laughing, you know, of you. I'm laughing with you. All right. Because I can definitely see that you're in some kind of a limbo situation with this Hangman coming out 3 times. Whatever this is heavy. It's heavily, what's the word? Disconcerting, unnerving. I don't know. You're like in a state of like, should I stay or should I go? Please clarify the Queen of Wands. There's like this indecisiveness, this hovering. The Emperor again. It came out here as well. The Emperor, so it's like beginning and ending with the Emperor. Yes, I know what this is. So you want to. You are motivated. Now I'm getting that song. I think it came out in 1999. And it had scenes from that Japanese anime, Ghost in the Shell. It was called King of My Castle. You know, must be the reason why I'm king of my castle. Must be the reason why. I don't remember what she said. But that's like you. So this is you wanting to reach this Emperor stage. You know, this is you wanting to feel in control of your life, wanting to be the king of your castle, or queen of your castle, of course. And you're plotting, you know, you're thinking desperately about how to get there, but there's a lot of this Hanged Man thing. Now, this Hanged Man can also show that, again, it really feels like you're in some kind of a conundrum, pile number 2. Like, there's this heavy decision that you have to make. Yeah, there's a lot of limbo here, and I think that because it comes out 3 times, for a lot of you, this is to a large extent beyond your control. You know, it's like you want to be in control of your life, but you can't get over that Hangman situation. There's this Hangman thing going on, and we have the Hangman again, clarified by Judgment. Oh my God. If this means what I think it means, or please clarify the Judgment. 9 of Pentacles. Please clarify the Hangman again. This time you cannot show me another Hangman. Page of Cups. Okay. So, what is supporting you here? Is the Hangman clarified by the Page of Cups? Well, the Hangman clarified by the Judgment, and then Judgment clarified by the 9 of Pentacles. Page of Cups clarified the Hangman. So what I'm getting here is this message of the fact that what you see as difficult, what you see as confusing, what you see as a hurdle in your life path right now could actually be a blessing in disguise. And there could be some way for you to look at this issue that you are confronted with that can turn it into an opportunity, but you have to look at it under the right angle. I know this all sounds very vague, but again, these are the messages I'm getting, and this is a general reading. So again, I'm curious to see how this might resonate, so please consider it. Yeah, there's this message of there's a blessing in disguise that is going to support you throughout the following 30 days. And the Page of Cups underneath, I really think that this is, you know, in the most general sense, this is about a reawakening of your purest, innocent self. You know, that Page of Cups, this is showing me inspiration, like newfound inspiration in a creative sense, and the blossoming of new emotions. And this is somehow going to carry you through over the next 30 days. And then with the Judgment clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, this shows me that what's also going to support you is your capacity to think clearly, to be rational, and to make decisions that push you towards self-reliance with that Nine of Pentacles. So in other words, there is this feeling of keep your eyes on the prize, you know, with that Nine of Pentacles. And there's also a more specific message that, I mean, for some of you, this could also be like some significant financial and or career opportunities coming into your life within the next 30 days. And at the same time, this is a message that you should continue to focus on becoming self-reliant when it comes to your career and finances. So see how this resonates. Now, depending on your situation, you know, if you are not someone who wants to run your own business or something, this could just be like you maybe, you know, getting a job for the first time, maybe, I don't know, in life, or getting a job, getting a new job, you know, that gives you more money, that offers you more freedom, more autonomy, right? But somehow, like, Spirit is telling you, yes, keep your eyes on the prize, you know, keep your mind focused and trust your judgment. That's another big one. You need to trust your capacity for decision. It kind of makes me think of this thing that I read at one time, that, you know, there's nothing worse than indecisiveness, because like even if you make a bad decision, you learn something, right? At least you learn what you don't like or what doesn't work for you. But if you never make a decision, you're basically stuck in limbo forever, like nothing moves forward. So I really think that for some of you, it could be that bad, you know, where you're pretty much stuck in analysis paralysis and you feel very much in limbo, you know, because of this indecisiveness with the Hangman coming through so many times. Yeah, so then we also have the Star clarified by the Six of Swords, and this is coming out in opposition. I need to get clarifications about this because this is intense. Please clarify the Star. Ouch. Two of Cups. There are so many number twos coming out for you, pile number two. So this is heavy moon energy, which actually, to be fair, explains, at least partially, that Hangman coming out 3 times. Because not only is the number 2 in the Hangman, because, you know, the Hangman has the number 12 on it, all right? So that's a 1 and a 2. And then the number 2 is, you know, it's ruled by the moon. Moon is about indecisiveness. It is about wishy-washiness. It is about moodiness. You know, it's about, I don't know, today I want this, tomorrow I want this. And I hate to use this example because I know that Katy Perry turned out to be a weirdo. But, you know, it kind of reminds me of that song that Katy Perry had with "You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out." I don't know, or "You're black and it's white, you're in and you're out," something like that. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like you might be in that kind of an energy where you're too indecisive, you know, like sitting on the fence. That could be one of the things that you're struggling with in life. But here, the specific message about opposition, the Star clarified by the Two of Cups. I have to say this. And look at this, we have the Lovers. Oh no. I don't want to be negative, but I have to tell it like it is. Okay, first of all, let me clarify. Please clarify the Six of Swords. Please clarify the Six of Swords for me, Spirit. Nine of Cups. Loads of number 9s as well. Nine of Cups. This is about wish fulfillment, pile number 2. Wish fulfillment. Clarifying the Six of Swords, which is about moving from hardship. But that Two of Cups, though, especially clarifying the Star. Now, again, this is very specific, so don't just brush it off immediately because you don't want to hear it. But if you are currently romantically interested in someone, infatuated with someone, maybe you started dating someone. This is a new thing, by the way. Relatively new, all right? If I had to guess, if I had to put a timeline, something that hasn't started more than 6 months ago, all right? Whether this is a romantic relationship, someone you're dating, someone you're interested in, etc., some kind of love interest, this person may not be good for you, pile number 2. Now, there are 2 ways to look at this. Either they're not good for you because they're just not compatible, or the way you feel about them or your attitude towards them is not good for you. Meaning, you might idealize them, or you might not see them clearly. You project your fantasies on them because, again, we have that star, all right? We have the star clarified by the 2 of Cups. This is very specific, but for some of you, this could literally be someone who's famous. Like maybe you have a crazy infatuation with someone that you know right off the bat is just, how should I put it? Unavailable, unreachable, right? I don't know. You have a crush on Josh Hartnett or something. Although he's kind of old nowadays. I don't know. You have a crush on whoever, Timothée Chalamet or something, right? And see, people develop harmless crushes on a regular basis, but if this is something that is taking up a lot of your time, forget it, right? So this is something that's destructive, that is taking away from your life force, that is keeping you, again, potentially in limbo. You know, it's keeping you in some kind of a negative feedback loop in your life where you're wasting time on a delusion instead of focusing on bettering your actual circumstances. And then we have the 6 of Swords clarified. See, we have the star clarified by the 6 of Swords, clarified by the 9 of Cups. This is definitely telling me a message of escapism. Like you are wishing on a star, like you're, oh my God, literally wishing on a star because you have the star here. Like you are using someone, an infatuation, limerence, I think that's the word for it, right? When you develop an infatuation with someone that you know almost nothing about. So that could be you. You could be stuck in limerence. And this is somehow really taking you away from the things you should be focusing on within the next 30 days. And again, I know people don't want to hear this. Maybe it sounds like a little bit of a cold shower, but this is what I'm getting. I feel like I had to say it. Because the 2 of Cups, again, there's this message of a new love interest. It's something new, a new person. And that star, like I said, there's this message that this person is somehow idealized. And they could be someone who, again, has a high social status. Maybe there's someone who I got that song again from the 90s in my head. She's so high, high above me. She's so lovely, like Cleopatra. I don't remember, something like that. Obviously, I'm totally off key. But if you look for the lyrics, you will find this song. So it's kind of like that. You're, I don't know, idealizing someone and dreaming about them. And you're wasting your time, basically, because this is not something real. That could be a thing. On the other hand, like I said, this could be someone who might actually, even though I don't like to encourage limerence, let me tell you, let me put it like this. If this is Timothée Chalamet, most likely you're in the first scenario. So most likely it's not going to be someone you're going to have a relationship with. But for some of you, this could be someone that is a viable relationship possibility for you. However, the way you focus on them is not healthy, all right? So maybe you spend too much time in your head creating scenarios and, again, projecting things on this person that they're not really characteristic, basically seeing them in a non-accurate light, really. And I really think that it ties into this mask thing, take off your mask thing. In the sense that you know how people, when they develop infatuations, especially, you know, infatuations, limerence, and all that stuff, it's oftentimes because they're actually subconsciously hoping that this person is going to solve their problems, you know, or like getting into a relationship with this person somehow is gonna wave a magic wand and give them the life they always wanted, or, you know, solve things about their lives that have nothing to do with romance and that honestly they probably could solve themselves without focusing on a relationship. All right, we'll stop dwelling. You get the idea. This is what I see, okay? Now we have the lovers. So here we have some more lovers. I have to say, pile number 2, you're probably someone who's very romantic, which definitely makes sense with all this moon energy coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if you also had a lot of Venus in your horoscope as well, because we have the devil, we have the lovers, right? So there's a lot of number 6 as well. Number 6 is ruled by Venus. But anyway, we have the lovers and the 10 of Pentacles, and this is in the past. Oh my God. This really makes sense with the take off your mask thing. Hold on. I want it. Please clarify. Please clarify the lovers here. The Hermit. Oh. Please clarify the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Cups. Wow. Yeah. I think I know what this means. So this makes sense with the mask thing here. So it really strikes me that you are someone who really, in the past, so this is a pattern, all right? So over the past and maybe up until today's, up until today in your life, basically, you're someone who's really focused on and has been focused on getting social approval because of this Hermit and the lovers, basically, and then the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. So it really makes me feel, and I know this is kind of a cliche, but this is the vibe that I'm getting here, that you are someone who has really sought to get social approval and to get love from people in general, not just romantically, but in general, right? Like feeling accepted, feeling appreciated by focusing on building social status in a conventional sense, by building a career in a conventional sense. You know, there's this very clear message that you really felt that, you know, if you focus on building a career, that you will also automatically get a family once that career is built. I have to say, this is the kind of energy that you would traditionally expect from a man, you know, but not necessarily, especially in today's world, because, you know, things are changing. This definitely would have made sense, you know, before feminism. This would have definitely been like a pretty typical male trajectory, you know, like consider, because, you know, in the past, men, all they had to think about was how to get a job. And once they got a job, you know, their family would find them a wife, and that was it. And I think, but in today's world, it's, you know, it's becoming like this for women for a number of reasons. I won't turn this into some kind of, you know, political, social essay over here, but there is definitely this message, like, there could also be this message that you have neglected relationships at the expense of your career, because you were thinking, oh, I'm going to think about romance later once I have the career thing down. Like, again, but there's also this feeling, this expectation that you are bound to have a family, you're bound to find love once you have social status and once you have a career down. Okay, so this is being like, these are basically guiding principles that I see for you up until this current moment when you come across this reading. And I have to say, for some of you, I'm going to take it a step further, because hello, we have the Hermit, we have the lovers. And look at the Hermit. I mean, the way that the Hermit came out, looking longingly towards the moon, again, the moon, and then the lovers behind. I really think for some of you, this could be a very specific person. This could either be like one person that you have had a massive infatuation with, and you were thinking, you know, if I only make enough money, or if I become socially, conventionally successful or attractive, right? Because Ten of Pentacles is mainly about career, but it's also about social status, right? So whatever gets you social status could have been a major focus of yours up until present moment. So yeah, there is this specific message for some of you that you have tried to impress one particular person, or again, you were hoping that if you really worked on yourself and you became successful, that this person would notice you. All right. Now, for others of you, this could have been a repeated pattern, right? Like not just with one person, but maybe with multiple crushes, you know, like you kept having crushes and hoping that, oh, this person is going to notice me once I don't know, again, make enough money, or if you're a woman, again, if you, I don't know, get another cosmetic procedure, or if you reach a certain number of followers on Instagram or something, right? So there is this like desire to impress a potential romantic interest that has been guiding you over the past. And this is why I really feel for many of you, pile number 2, that you have a strong Venus, maybe strong Libra, potentially strong Taurus, but I would say Libra even more so. Either way, a pretty strong Venus, because everything is about romance and love over here. I mean, that's a strong motivator in your life. And that would also explain, again, to some extent, the Hanged Man as well, because Venus is an energy that is so focused on the other person and attracting a person that they want, that they tend to sacrifice themselves, or they tend to not even care so much about who they really are and what they want to get out of life until they get a specific romantic partner to notice them, you know. That's one of the not so great parts about Libra. Anyway, so this is what I'm seeing. And then we have, this is good news. Finally, we're getting to good news. We have Four of Wands. We have the Hangman, ever present here. So again, I want to get clarifications, because this time I'm going to get a clarification from this other deck, because I feel like I have pulled too many cards from the tiny one. Please clarify the Hangman. Wow, look at this. Pile number 2. The Magician. Holy moly. And I want to get, oh, hold on, I'm going to clarify. Please clarify the Four of Wands as well. Oh my God. Oh my God. Pile number 2. There are good things ahead. Let me tell you, pile number 2. I know, if you have made it this far, listen to this old woman's ramblings. See, Spirit is rewarding you now at this moment. I feel like a televangelist. Like, what's his name? I don't remember. Gosh, what was that guy's name? Joel Osteen, right? Always remember that you are a child of the Most High God. Okay, I'm closing the parenthesis. To be honest, I used to watch some of his, what do you call them, sermons during the pandemic when I was depressed, because a lot of the stuff that he said just made me feel good. They're ending the confession. But anyway, pile number 2, you have this Four of Wands clarified by the Two of Cups, and then you have the Hangman clarified by the Magician. So what this is telling me is that you, in the future, now this could be by the end of the next 30 days. I would say most likely this is going to be a longer process than that, because, you know, the future, I mean, most of the times when I look at this position, I see it as near future, but it could also be like a continuous process that starts within the next 30 days and will continue afterwards, right? Most likely by the end of the next 30 days and onwards, rather than at the beginning of the following month. And we have this, so you are guaranteed to have happiness emotionally, and to have this very romantic and balanced relationship, okay, with a new person. Now, the Two of Cups here, this could be the person on your mind, but I will caution you that, again, if it's a famous person like Timothée Chalamet, most likely, I'm sorry, but he's probably not your soulmate. I'm just saying. Now, for those of you who have you know, a real boy or a real girl, quote unquote, in mind, like Pinocchio. That's a Pinocchio reference. Meaning someone you've met in real life, okay? Someone who is, I don't want to use the word doable because that sounds shady, but someone who is, let's say, accessible. That doesn't sound good either, but anyway, I'm going to shut up. But, you know, someone who's close to you that you might actually have a real life relationship with, then it could be that person. It could be the person that you're thinking about right now or have been thinking about, or someone that you are about to meet in the near future. But this is definitely someone that you have not had a romantic relationship with because of this Two of Cups. But, I mean, the Four of Wands, clarified by the Two of Cups, this is a relationship that's going to lead to a happy family, most likely marriage, okay? And then we have the Hangman clarified by the Magician. This is like, again, showing me that after all this limbo situation, you're going to finally get to this clarity. I'm getting that song in my head, like, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day or something like that. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting here, in the sense that you are looking towards happiness here. Now, I have to say, now that I look back, because you had the Judgment in the second position, I feel like maybe I judged you too harshly, pile number 2, so I apologize if that if it came across that way. But now the Hangman with the Judgment, this does show me that the state of limbo that you have experienced and that you are probably going to continue to experience could also be because of things that are beyond your control. Like you might be going through some kind of a karmic cycle. But here with this Magician, with the Two of Cups, with the Four of Wands, there's a very clear message that you are going to get the happiness that you want, especially emotionally, all right? And the Magician is not just, see, here's the thing, you have this Magician clarifying the Hangman, and then you have the Emperor and you have the Devil. And so there's this very strong message that as a result of what happens within the next 30 days, so not necessarily by the end of the next 30 days, but at some point, right, either within the next 30 days or after, you're going to get the level of control, of mastery over your life that you have longed for a very long time. You know, having this feeling of, you know, finally being, again, the quote-unquote king of your castle or queen of your castle. And with the Devil underneath, now, normally the Devil is a pretty negative energy, but in this context, you know, I think that this is going to be you having the opportunity to enjoy physical pleasures, whether this is about, you know, something involving a partner, or whether this is about enjoying materialism in general. And yeah, with the Emperor. So I think because of this newfound status, right, control over your life, mastery, and financial abundance, you will have more opportunities for hedonism, you know, for again, enjoying the finer things in life, not necessarily in a bad way. This is pretty much what I see from the cards here. But yeah, this message of taking off your mask is absolutely a strong advice from Spirit about you needing to basically get down to the... And here's the thing. Maybe I didn't say it directly, but it is a strong message that in this context, I feel like you finding the right person that you have always dreamt of depends on you embracing your true self, right? And, you know, let's say removing your shadow side or your self-sabotaging side and actually accepting who you truly are so that you can find someone who's genuinely compatible. Because the Two of Cups is not just about a new person, you know? It's also about an equal relationship. It's a relationship where, you know, that's like the opposite of a codependent relationship, you know? So a relationship between two people who are coming at each other from a similar position, you know, like relating to one another as equals through respect and mutual interest and, you know, like, I don't know, two opponents on the battlefield, but more romantic, you know what I mean? Anyway, let me get to the astrological notes. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What can pile number 2 expect about the next 30 days of their lives? Ooh. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Such strong confirmations. Oh, wow. Scorpio. So you have this card here that says transformation. You see it? Transformation. Scorpio is the sign of transformation, and sometimes she changes. So you have repeated messages of transformation, okay? And the devil is also a bit scorpionic. Didn't want to get into it. And then we also have the south node of the moon, which in Vedic astrology rules Scorpio, all right? We also have Jupiter, ideals, and magnitude, which does not surprise me because you have the hangman that came out 3 times, and the hangman has the number 12 on it, which boils down to a number 3 in numerology, 1 + 2, and it's ruled by Jupiter. All right, and you also have this, 21. Now I'm getting the song 21 by Cranberries in my mind, but I don't think that has anything to do with this, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if it does, try listening to that song. It might have some message. But anyway, so this Jupiter energy is coming through a lot, which is really, again, the magician. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have placements in Purva Bhadrapada, because Purva Bhadrapada is ruled by Jupiter. But of course, you could also have placements in Vishakha Nakshatra, which is ruled by Jupiter, or Punarvasu, which is also ruled by Jupiter. And of course, you could also have placements in Pisces or Sagittarius, which are also ruled by Jupiter. But Jupiter coming through, all right, within, with respect to the energies you can expect for the next 30 days, this is a time of expansion. This is a time of learning, of acquiring wisdom, of expanding your horizons, all right? This could also be, again, going hand in hand with what I said about that hangman. Oh my God, I just fucking realized this. I'm sorry, pardon my French, but the hangman, like I said, this is about limbo. And you have both the South Node and Jupiter. These are very spiritual energies. South Node especially, the most spiritual energy in Vedic astrology. Jupiter, not too far behind. So with that limbo energy, I mean, some of you could be coming through a dark night of the soul, you know. I don't think you're going through it right now, but you might be still recovering from something. Because there could be this like I said, like a complete change of how you view yourself. That's what I first picked up on. But this could also be like a change with respect to your life philosophy overall. So like something major could have happened that is pushing you to rethink the way that you view the world. This is why I said that for some of you, this could be something that is beyond your control. Like maybe something traumatic happened recently, or something that maybe this traumatic thing happened a long time ago, but it's only in recent history that you have started to really process it for some reason, you know? And you're processing something, you're purging something from the past potentially. And the South Node, again, going hand in hand with that Judgment card that came through and that I mentioned might be connected to karma. South Node is a confirmation of that. I mean, in this deck, it actually says old karma. This is because the South Node, or Ketu, as it's called in Vedic astrology, is connected to past lives. All right? So like I said, for some of you, you could be coming through a karmic cycle, and you still might be going through a karmic cycle, right? So it still feels like you're cleansing something, like you're letting go of something. And there is this feeling of discomfort, of like not knowing exactly where you stand. Ketu is also an energy of confusion. So again, that would go hand in hand with the hangman coming out as well. Like, again, kind of being in this state of like not even knowing which way is up, you know? Being so confused because, and this, when people go through these kinds of things, it's usually because everything they believed in somehow tumbled, you know? Like they don't know which way is up, and they don't know how they have to like just take it one step at a time and put one foot in front of the other because they're afraid to get their hopes up about the future too much. So they're just trying to take it one day at a time. Again, really, please let me know in the comment section, pile number 2, because this really is intense. I mean, intense messages here. And then we have the 6th house work and routine within the next 30 days. I think that within this context, especially, this is spirit telling you, just like this card said initially, you know, about like being alert, but also being in the moment. So the sixth house is about daily routines, could also be about employment. So being an employee, working for others, providing acts of service, can also be about pets. Detailed oriented work can also be about health and self-care, because sixth house is connected to the healthcare system and like the body, taking care of yourself through everything that entails. So I think the sixth house here is telling you that, again, either because you will naturally become more focused on these things, or maybe somehow because of circumstances you will be pressured to focus more on these things. Like maybe, you know, you might develop some health issues which will force you to take things one step at a time and be more mindful and all that. But one way or another, there will be more of this energy of taking things one step at a time, focusing on having a solid routine. Like somehow a routine within the next 30 days is really going to help you. I don't want to say survive, because again, that sounds negative, but yeah, it's going to help you go through with the next 30 days. So like it's somehow that routine is going to play a massive role in your overall well-being and what you need to focus on within the next 30 days, you know, having a healthier routine. And then there's, last but not least, there's that moon energy. I'm laughing because so much, I lost track of how much moon you have. Like you had the Two of Cups came out twice. So many number twos. You had the two coming. First of all, the number two came out in each of those three hanged mans they came through. And then you also have the number two here on the 21. And you also had, where else did I see it? Page of Cups. Yeah, was there a number two here? No, this was, yeah, there's a number two on the Judgment, which is a number 20. So we have the number two there. But anyway, there's so many number twos, and you have the moon, and you had the Queen of Wands in the first column over here. And I talked about the shadow side connected to the Queen of Wands. Well, the moon also, because just like it says in you know, it says feelings and subconscious, in Vedic astrology, in astrology in general, the moon is about the subconscious. I was going to say it's about the self-conscious. Freudian slip. It's also about being self-conscious in some ways. But the moon is about the subconscious, right? So it's parts of you that are on autopilot, right? They are do without even realizing. Oh, again, we have the number two here. I forgot about this one. Take off your mask, right? So the number two, again, is maybe some of you could be too much of a people pleaser, or you're too concerned with how other people see you, because again, that would go hand in hand with everything I saw here about your past patterns, right? Of seeking love and approval through improving your social status, right? Or your image and stuff like that. So there is this like emotional drive, and this coming through very strongly for the next 30 days is definitely showing an opportunity for you to mend some kind of emotional wounds from the past, or again, bring some things to the surface that you have buried for a long time. Like I said, there's like this message potentially of purging, like of purging emotions and potentially unpleasant feelings that you have kept buried for a long time. And somehow this is going to be very important for you to develop and to move on to the next stage of your life. Okay, this is pretty much what I have. Let me get the Astro dice as well. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number two. What can pile number two expect with respect to the next 30 days of their lives? Oh, we have the Sun. So that could be that Magician, Queen of Wands energy. We have Capricorn. All right. And we have the number 4, which again could tie to the moon energy, because moon is ruling Cancer, which is the 4th sign of the zodiac. And the number 4 connects to the same energies that Cancer connects to. And we see here again with Capricorn and the Cancer energy and the moon energy, right? There is like this message of you having to balance, you know, your emotional needs with your social needs. As in, again, learn not to sacrifice one for the other, and learn that it's okay for you to want to be accepted for both wanting a career and at the same time also wanting or having emotional needs, right? And needing sometimes to get help and support and emotional connection and all those things. So yeah, I feel like maybe many of you could be swinging one way or the other, where you're either too stoic and you never let your guard down and you never allow yourself to be vulnerable because you're afraid of what people might think or that people might see you as weak. Or on the other hand, you could be maybe someone who's like codependent, you know, so like you're someone who always portrays yourself as someone who's needy and emotional and all that because you're afraid that if you step into your power and your independence and you show that you actually have an ambitious side, that people won't like you anymore, you know, or that you won't get any kind of emotional connection anymore because, yeah, people are just going to assume that you are self-reliant. So this is one thing that I'm seeing. And here the Capricorn, and again, the Sun does boil down, again, explains the take off your mask message and also the Magician coming out in the future. Because the Magician, right, is an energy that is this is like the most independent, in control. This is the most king of your castle as you can get, basically, together with the Emperor as well. And also the Magician has the number 1, which is ruled by the Sun. And the Sun in astrology is very much the planet that is connected to being your authentic self. It's, you know, connected to the heart chakra. This is why the 5th house, which corresponds to Leo, the sign that the Sun rules, also rules children, right? And self-expression and drama, and play. That's an important thing, right? So this is because the Sun is about getting in touch with your inner child and being your authentic self the way that you would be if nobody was watching and you're just having fun the way that a child would have when nobody was watching back in the 90s, not like nowadays when everybody's on their tablets from the time that they're 1.5. But you catch my drift, right? So yeah, this is pretty much what I have for you. Pile number 2. Like I said from the beginning, so you have the Hangman, like I said, which has the number 12 on it. Starts with a 1, ends in a 2, which shows the confusion, right? Because the number 2 has the last word. That's a way to look at it symbolically. But then you have this bear with 21, which shows that the 2 becomes 1, like in the Spice Girls song. I'm old. But basically the number 1 has the last word. So this shows that you move on from the moon energy to the sun energy by the end of the next 30 days. All right. So you're moving into this Magician, this sun energy, this higher level of confidence and self-acceptance and clarity and self-love, basically, by the end of this month. Yeah. So this is pretty much what I have for you. Again, I have enjoyed this reading a lot. This is a very long reading. I did not expect for this to take this long, but when the flow is flowing, you know what I mean? So if you have listened all the way to the end, I really hope you have enjoyed this. And if you have, don't forget to like the video by clicking the thumbs up and click on the subscribe button, right? So that, yeah, you can support my channel further. Also click on the notifications bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new tarot reading. In addition to that, don't forget to comment in the comment section because, like I said, I would love to hear your feedback about this, how it resonated. Of course, feel free to come back to this reading after a while and maybe see how the prediction plays out. And yeah, so any feedback you would like to give, I will take it into account as long as you keep it respectful. You can also leave recommendations for future topics that maybe you would like me to cover on this channel. I will take them into account as well. Aside from that, if you would like a personal tarot reading from me, check out the video description. I've left my email address there. You can email me for a pricing list and reading options and any other information you might be curious about. I've also left a link to a blog post in the video description that has reviews that I have gotten for private readings before. And yeah, go ahead and check it out. It might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me. And aside from that, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by becoming a member. You can find more information about that by clicking on the join button under this video or any other. you will see the prices in your local currency. You can also see the videos I have posted so far in the membership section. I think you can also see it if you click on the join button and you scroll through that menu, but you can also see them if not by searching for members only videos on my channel, or just membership or something like that, basically a keyword, and you will see all the members only videos that I created so far. And yeah, go ahead and check it out. I, of course, appreciate every one of you that has become a member. It makes a great deal of difference and definitely supports me in continuing to make videos. And aside from that, of course, you can also support me by just sharing this video with people that you know who might be interested in tarot. And you can also leave a tip under the $ button. Again, under any of my videos, that would be much appreciated as well. Any amount would be much appreciated. And last but not least, I also have an astrology channel. Like I said, it's called Astro-Martine. I will be linking it in the video description. I focus mainly on Vedic astrology there, which means that I use the sidereal, zodiac, and the whole sign house system because I have found that to be the most accurate, and I have been into it for more than a decade now. I've been into astrology overall for more than 2 decades, and before Vedic, I have been into tropical. And over the years, I've also dabbled a lot in other astrological systems like Chinese astrology, Batsa, Ziwei Doshu, numerology, the Mayan zodiac, etc. But I mainly stick to Vedic astrology because I have found this to be the most accurate system so far. And on my channel, I do like to take a pretty practical approach to astrology in the sense that I like to use a lot of examples of famous people's horoscopes to analyze, you know, things like life trajectory, career, relationship analysis, etc., etc. So I have a ton of videos on my astrology channel on all kinds of topics. So yeah, if you're curious about it, go ahead and check it out. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! So, welcome pile number 3. This is your reading if you have chosen the, this crystal over here, the green aventurine crystal, and or this card over here, the Beltane Lover, number 3. I love it when the card matches the crystal, especially since, again, I don't pick them like that on purpose. They pick themselves. I just love it. Anyway. This is going to be the card selection phase. I am not drunk, I promise. I'm just a little bit tired and I have a little bit of a sore throat after talking so much for the other 2 piles. But don't worry, I am going to give my full attention to you, pile number 3. So this is going to be the, like I said, card selection phase. I'm going to add timestamps. You can skip directly to the interpretation if you don't want to sit through it. All right, let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the green aventurine crystal. What can they expect within the next 30 days of their lives? All right. So we have the 4 of Pentacles, we have the Death, we have the 3 of Pentacles, we have the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, the 5 of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What can they expect about the following 30 days of their lives? In the following 30 days of their lives. Oh, ooh, we have the Death twice. There's a strong theme of transformation with all 3 piles, I have to say. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the King of Cups. Yeah, it is the King of Cups. I was just realizing it has the number 14 on it, just like the Temperance card. Anyway. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, 6 of Wands, and the Death, like I said, came out twice. Okay, let me get some Oracle cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What can pile number 3 expect within the next 30 days of their lives? Oh, wow. Jackal number 44 says truth there. And look at this. This is Anubis, I think. Isn't this Anubis? I'm not like a great master or scholar of Egyptian gods, but I'm pretty sure this is Anubis, if my memory serves me right, which is connected to death. So you already have death coming out twice, and then you have this thing over here that also has the number 44 on it, which boils down to a number 8 in numerology, which again can be traced back to the 8th house, which is the house of transformation, death, renewal, connected to Scorpio. So already a very strong repeated message for you, pile number 3, right off the bat. Let me get another oracle card. Let's see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What can they expect within the next 30 days of their lives? Temptation. Oh my gosh. Number 19. Yeah, well, that makes sense with all the Scorpio going on. Also makes sense with that 3 of Swords in the past, I have to say, but I will hold this thought. Right off the bat, I can tell you that I'm getting that video / song in my mind from, gosh, what are they? God, it's a great band, but I keep forgetting their name. Fleetwood Mac, right? They had this 80s song that was about a ghost. Like, it was all about like 2 people in love and they become ghosts, and it's like a period drama. It's shot like a period drama, and the song is really great. It's something like, I want to be with you every day. So the song sounds really optimistic, but the video is kind of tragic. Or you can also think of it as the movie Ghost with Demi Moore from the 90s. Anyway, enough about my memories. Let me get another tarot card. And we have the number 19 there, which boils down to a number 1, which is the sun energy. Anyway, oh, that was interesting. Did you see that? There was a number 44 on it, but I don't know if that means anything. Just like this one. Anyway, Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What can they expect within the next 30 days of their lives? Tell me, Spirit. What can pile number 3 expect? Long night moon. This one? This one, I don't know. Does it want to come out? I'm going to read it as well because I felt like it came out for a reason. So you're the only pile that gets through 2 of these. Okay, so let's see. We have number 10. So again, there is that repeated energy of the sun, long night moon, Capricorn, rosettes, elders. And then we have 14, Buffalo, North, Masculine, Earth. So let's see what the booklet has to say. So I'm going to read the descriptions for the cards from the book. Let's see. First for number 10. Okay, December 22 to January 19, Capricorn, rosettes, elders. I am the moon of the long night. I am the first moon of winter. Use your constructive abilities during my long nights and build on what you have started in the material plane. Concentrate on your career and your personal achievements, and you will master them and receive the appropriate recognition and honors for your work. Your leadership skills will be amplified. However, your work in the world and with public affairs needs to be balanced with spiritual matters. Remove any restrictions and get on with life. I am achievement. Okay, this is a strong message of like, keep your eyes on the prize, I feel. Okay, and moving on to Buffalo. Buffalo, North, Masculine, Earth. I am Buffalo. I am giveaway. I am the blending of Mother Earth, nurturing, and Father Sky, wisdom. I am patient, determined, consistent, and constant. Step by step, I can always be depended on. I am strength of purpose and practicality itself. My brothers, the human beings, quote unquote, use every part of my body with no waste. I embody utility, abundance, and limitless provision. I am giveaway. If I have plotted into your cards today, I am here to help you blend the grounding of Mother Earth and the animation and vigor of Father Sky. I may be telling you to look at the movement in your life at this time to examine your ambition and energy. Ask yourself, what drives me? I may also remind you of the sacrifices it takes to make it, quote unquote. Utilize all of the resources at hand, waste nothing. As I give away to you today, I hand over new understanding of your source and supply given to us by the Great Spirit. I am dependable. So the general message that I'm getting for both of these cards is basically keep your eyes on the prize and stop pussyfooting around. Sorry. But basically it's like, don't waste your time on trivial stuff that is not important. Like, also makes me think of grab the bull by the horns, you know. And you have this, like I said, you have the death coming out twice. Repeated transformation message here. And the number 4. Now, the death has the number 13, which boils down to a number 4. And here we have the death here. I mean, like I said, I really think this is Anubis, but I'm not 100% sure. Because either way, even if this is not connected to some god of death, there's still a vibe of death here, even about this card with the jackal, all right? Also, don't jackals just eat dead bodies? Just saying. All right, and then we have the Beltane lover. Now, this is the part that, you know, gets really interesting, but I'm going to hold my thoughts. The Beltane, this refers to a Celtic holiday around May 1st. And even though it's in May 1st, it actually symbolizes, or did symbolize, the beginning of summer, according to, you know, Celtic or Druid calendars, I guess. So this makes me think that something very important happened. Now, considering the fact that, again, this is a timeless reading, so I'm going to label it as a timeless reading, meaning it will apply to any point in time when you come across this reading, really, for the following 30 days, right? But as I record this, this is like past midnight, so right now it's like the 16th of June. So this would have been, you know, May 1st would have been last month. So it makes me think that maybe some of you have gone through something in the previous month from when you are listening to this, something significant, something that, I don't know, has really started to shift things in your life, you know, has started a process of transformation. And at the same time, this is about the beginning of summer. So like Beltane is about the beginning of summer. And I think that this could be about Kritika energy, because you have a lot of Kritika and Bharani, because you have a lot of death, right? So again, for those of you who come from Vedic astrology, Bharani Nakshatra is very much connected to the god of death, Yama, basically, in, you know, Hinduism. And so there is this Bharani energy, and Kritika, because it's ruled by the sun, and it like, and again, May is pretty much divided between Bharani and Kritika, and maybe a little bit of Mrigashira as well. So maybe you have prominent placements in these things, just a thought, doesn't have to be the case necessarily. So either way though, something significant could have happened in the previous month, or like some kind of new cycle has started over the previous month. And then the Beltane lover, again, also makes me think, this is more specific, and I'm going to see if I get repeated themes about this, but this could be about you currently being infatuated with someone that you met around some kind of social event, maybe a celebration, maybe a concert, maybe an actual Beltane celebration, who knows, right? That could be very specific, but yeah, there could be like, you know, summer crush, right? Some kind of a summer crush that you have right now. Makes me think of that song Summertime by Lana Del Rey as well, who, by the way, has strong Bharani placements, just so you know. And anyway, I actually mentioned this on my astrology channel a lot, that Lana Del Rey has a lot of Bharani aesthetics and themes in her music and her art, which is very telling according to her horoscope, because she has Venus, the planet of aesthetic and music, conjunct Rahu, and both of them in Bharani in her horoscope. And I mean, her big first hit, if anyone remembers, was called Born to Die. All right, just saying. Anyway, enough about Lana Del Rey. The bottom line is there could be some infatuation going on, or again, could be happening within the next 30 days. Some kind of a start of some kind of romance happening. All right. So at the current moment, all right, you are the Four of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles underneath. So this shows me that overall, your energy right now is an energy of self-preservation. Now, this could speak of the fact that you are not particularly abundant financially right now. It does not automatically mean that, you're necessarily going to be struggling, but you don't have like a lot to spare either. There is definitely an energy of like wanting to make sure that you have enough for an emergency situation. For some of you, this may not be about finances at all, but usually with Pentacles, this is about finances, okay? This is about career and finances. But let's say for a small percentage, there's also the possibility that this is about your emotional state. So it's not that you're struggling financially or you feel like you need to save for a rainy day, but you're in a state of extreme self-protection, like you don't want to open up, let's say, emotionally, right? And yeah, but either way, there is at the same time, this patience and this diligence about you where you understand that you are not going to get anywhere by wishing on a star, and you're rolling your sleeves and you are doing the work to improve your career, to improve your finances. And you understand that it's going to take time and it's going to... I'm getting that song, like, it's gonna take a whole lot of spending money to do it. You know what I mean? I got my mind set on you. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I think, who was it? The Silent Beetle, right? Was it George Harrison? Was that his name? Anyway. I feel like maybe there is, again, a repeating theme there, because that video was a lot of stuffed animals singing, so... in a roundabout way, it was connected to death. Anyway, you're someone like that. Like, you're optimistic, even though you, I don't know, are like reusing the same oil to fry your chicken for the past week or something. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. I'm just saying, it's like you're optimistic, even though you might be going through a rough spot right now. And then we have the Death. And then we have the King of Cups. I want to get clarifications already. Please clarify the King of Cups, Spirit. Strength. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Please clarify the Death. Wow, look at this. Did I see what I see? Yes, I see. Yes. Oh no, Three of Swords came out twice. Please clarify the Three of Swords, because I want to know what this is about. Nine of Wands. Okay, please clarify the Strength. Nine of Wands came out twice as well. Six of Pentacles. Okay. So, what is supporting you throughout the following 30 days, pile number 3, is, well, your ability to adapt to new situations. Because the Death is about transformation, but it's also about the capacity to adapt and to fall on your feet, right? And then we have King of Cups clarified by Strength, clarified by Six of Pentacles. So your ability to be generous, even when you're going through a tight spot. Now, generosity could refer to actual, let's say, donations, right? But it could also be generosity in terms of helping others with time, with, I don't know, volunteering at a shelter or something. Helping people in direct ways through sharing knowledge. Six of Pentacles is also a card that oftentimes connects to teaching. So for some of you, this could literally be about teaching. Like, your ability to be a good teacher is going to be instrumental to your development over the next 30 days and to the way that you're going to pull through over the next 30 days. Because I have to say, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It doesn't look like this is going to be an easy month for you, especially at the beginning. Because, yeah, Like I said, you are optimistic and you have good reason to be, but the struggle is there. Like, there is a pretty significant message of struggle here. And then that Three of Swords, I have to say again, not a particularly positive energy. We have the Three of Swords and clarified by Nine of Wands. All of this clarifying the Death card. So I feel like, again, what's going to basically help you pull through is your capacity to thrive despite adversity and to carry on even when you're in emotional pain. There's no other way to put it. Oh my God. Pile number 3. I have to say, like, this is a heartbreak motel. Oh my God, I just realized. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Pile number 3. How did I not notice this? Why didn't you tell me? LOL. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not drunk. It's just I've been talking for a long time. Look at this, pile number 3. Look at this. We have the Nine of Wands clarified by the Three of Swords. And this is the past. And then we have the Three of Swords clarified by the Nine of Wands. And this is in support, clarifying the death. So, let me rephrase. Your healing process, okay, is, well, let me rephrase again. Not your healing process, but like the way that you will heal your heartbreak is going to be by focusing on helping others and falling back on your knowledge of yourself with the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups speaks about, not Knight of Cups, King of Cups, even better. Speaks about emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. This is a person who has a lot of self-knowledge and a lot of knowledge of human psychology in general. So I definitely feel, again, please comment in the comment section, and because this is insane. I mean, I just realized the Beltane Lover. Hello. This is your very first card. And then you have the Three of Swords twice. And not only that, but you have these two cards come out together. So there's a pretty distinct message of heartbreak here happening in the recent past for many of you. Pile number 3. Again, please let me know. Now, if this is not about romance, there is a possibility that this is not about romance, but this could be like something that is like an old wound that is passed from, I don't know, early childhood, or could be a romantic heartbreak that happened a while ago, but you still aren't really fully over it. Because again, the Nine of Wands clarified by Three of Swords, this is a typical message of someone who gets hardened emotionally because they have been hurt, you know, in matters of the heart. And I feel like this this Beltane Lover card, again, with the number 3 on it, just like the Three of Swords. I mean, the repetition is crazy over here. Spirit is like, bitch, in how many other ways can I spell it out for you? I mean, really. Sorry, pardon my French. But it's like Spirit is showing me that someone has hurt you, someone has disappointed you, and because of the Beltane message, which again is about celebration, summertime is like a feel-good. Ironically, remember when I said like just a few minutes ago that this makes me think of Summertime by Lana Del Rey? If you watch the video for that song, it's about her being betrayed by her boyfriend and her getting revenge, basically. Not suggesting you should do that. But also, as a parenthesis, Barony is known to be very vengeful, end of parenthesis, and to carry a lot of like emotional pain and emotional, you know, like hurts because they have a hard time letting go. But anyway, it makes me think that this was like a good time partner, you know, like someone who was only there for you as long as you were fun. Like someone who let you down as soon as the going got tough, basically. This might be, again, these are specific messages. This is a general reading. I'm sure this is not exactly the case for everyone. But in general, right, irrespective if this is about this one specific person or not, this is about you having experienced heartbreak, significant heartbreak, and carrying some significant emotional load and burden and pain from the past, which has made you pretty hardened, pretty defensive. Not necessarily defensive in like, not, that's not the strongest thing, right? Not the strongest theme, but the fact that you're just kind of like world weary, like you're not, has made you not open to love, you know, like not caring about love. And so right now with this death card clarified by the Three of Swords, clarified by the Nine of Wands, this is showing you that in this month, within the next 30 days, you are going to have significant opportunities for healing, for transforming, you know, the heartbreak into something productive, basically. And I feel like, again, whether you realize this or not, even though, of course, if you're watching this reading, it doesn't hurt if you become self-aware of these processes, but I think, like, even if you are totally unconscious, like, somehow things will arrange in your life in such a way that this healing process is going to start within the next 30 days, right? Like, maybe you're going to be put in a situation where all of a sudden someone is going to ask you to join a charity or join volunteer effort or something, and because you will focus on helping other people, you will start to heal, you will start to I don't know, like, at the very least, kind of move your attention away from your pain and turn it into something positive, or turn the fact that maybe you have gone through some significant betrayal into, you know, something positive, in the sense that you feel now you can guide others through maybe similar experiences, right? And now you're that much wiser when it comes to understanding human nature and understanding how to deal with people, basically. And then we have the Three of Pentacles and we have the Seven of Pentacles in opposition. So this one is potentially a paradoxical message, although I have to point out first and foremost that the number 3 is coming out again. So you're the third card, you have the number 3. You know, you're the third pile, you have the number 3. So the number 3 is very Jupiterian in energy. By the way, some of you might also have placements in Purva Bhadrapada, which is also connected to death. Okay, won't get too much into theory. Again, for those who are curious, I have a video on my astrology channel, Astro Martine. I will be linking it in the video description, where I talk about Purva Bhadrapada. It's called Nakshatras of Jupiter. I also have one where I talk about Bharani Nakshatra more in depth. It's called Nakshatras of Venus. So yeah, if you're curious, you can go and check those out. But either way, right, you have this Jupiter energy, which is about expansion. It is about growth. And it is a bit of a paradoxical message here, because it's like you start out by having this focus on, you know, bettering your financial and career circumstances. And again, this could also be about you kind of burying yourself into work because you don't want to think about your feelings. That could also be another way to look at it. But then you have the Three of Pentacles in opposition, and Seven of Pentacles in opposition, kind of like giving you a warning at the same time that you shouldn't use work just because you want to have an escape from your feelings and your thoughts, you know. And I want to get more clarifications just to make sure. Please clarify the Three of Pentacles, Spirit. Two of Wands. Please clarify the Seven of Pentacles. The World. All right. Two of Wands. Here we have the message. See, normally I don't know if if you can look at this card, right? You have the symbols of the 4 fixed signs. You have Taurus, Leo, the vulture represents Scorpio for some reason, and then you have the human head, which is Aquarius, on the world. Now, normally, these signs actually appear in the corners of the Wheel of Fortune card, but I guess in this deck, they put it on the world card for some reason. Now, and the reason I find this particularly telling is because you already have the Death card twice, you have the Jackal, so there's this repeated message of transformation. And on the Wheel of Fortune, which by the way is another card that is connected to transformation, the reason why these 4 signs appear is because these are the signs that actually hate change the most, because they're fixed signs. So they are the ones that hate change, that find change to be the most painful out of all the other signs. Now, in your case, it shows up on the World card, which again has the number 21 on it, which boils down to number 3, which again is ruled by Jupiter. And the World represents an ending. On the one hand, in a, let's say, more literal sense, it could also be connected to dealing with other cultures or traveling or something like that, okay? But here, in this context, you have 7 of Pentacles clarified by the World. I think that what Spirit is telling you here, actually, so initially I said it's paradoxical, but now it's actually making a lot of sense, is Spirit is telling you, do not allow affairs of the heart to distract you from your goals professionally. Because the 3 of Pentacles, see, if I hadn't pulled the clarifications, I would not have seen the full picture. Because here we have the 3 of Pentacles, right? This is about you being given an opportunity to learn new things, right? And again, we have the number 3 on the 3 of Pentacles. Jupiter, growth, okay? It's you know, the 3 of Pentacles is about apprenticeship. It's kind of like starting a new chapter, being a beginner, like in a new career trajectory. So this could be like getting a new job, right? Learning new things, but things that are positive, things that are helping you grow. And then you have it clarified by the 2 of Wands, which is a card that speaks of kind of being on the fence, in a space of hesitation, in a space of overthinking, and potentially allowing opportunities to pass you by because you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone. And then the 7 of Pentacles, again, this is, you know, about really gaining momentum. So like 7 of Pentacles is, let's say, a step higher than the 3. It's more than a few steps higher than the 3 of Pentacles. It's on its way to the 8 of Pentacles, which is, you know, getting to a point of mastery of a craft, right? And 7 of Pentacles is like, you know, right before the 8 of Pentacles. So it's about gaining momentum, gaining traction, and really getting close to a level of mastery, right? But then you have it clarified by the World. So this is telling you that basically you run the risk of giving up, of stopping your progress within the next 30 days. And most likely because of emotional issues, right? Because of this 3 of Swords heartbreak, which again, I did interpret mainly as an emotional, potentially romantic heartbreak. But it could be any kind of emotional. Again, because of this repeated barony energy and because of the 3 of Swords, I mean, the 3 of Swords is just deeply rooted emotional wounds, right? It's emotional baggage. And so because of the emotional baggage that you are carrying, which could present itself, of course, in ways like self-sabotage, in, you know, maybe dealing with addiction and escapism because you're in pain, right? Because of these things, you might end up losing sight of what it was that you really wanted and the things that are actually going to help improve your circumstances in life, which would be to focus on that 3 of Pentacles and that 7 of Pentacles, which would be to focus on, you know, making the most of the professional opportunities that are before you and taking that new job, right? And working hard towards perfecting your skills. And that's the way forward, not by being stuck in the hesitation and not by, you know, ending your progress because of this World, which again, both of these cards, when you think about it, are connected to a fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. All right? So this is what I'm seeing. And now, again, the 9 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, like I've already explained these. I don't feel like I need to expand on it. This is past heartbreak, basically, and you becoming a hardened little Jon Snow bastard. I'm kidding, but, you know, there's like this character, this Jon Snow look-alike shows up a lot in this deck, by the way. Anyway, Then we have, see, here's the good news part. I'm getting to the good news. We have the Five of Cups and we have the Six of Wands. Look at this. The Six of Wands. I want to get clarifications because I want to make sure of stuff. Please clarify the Five of Cups. Five of Cups again. That's great, Spirit. Thank you. Sorry. It's all very clear. Please clarify the Six of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands. Okay, that's good. So, here's the thing. In the future, that Five of Cups, clarified by the Five of Cups. Now, these are opportunities coming into your life, but these opportunities require you to be present and require you to be self-aware and very much determined, right? So not be asleep and not be distracted and not be, so like Five of Cups, again, coming out twice, Five of Cups clarified by Five of Cups. This is about opportunities that are coming into your life. It could be by within the next 30 days and could also be further than that, right? But these are coming because this is the future. But these are opportunities that you really need to be able to spot because they're not going to show up and like hit you in the face, right? So this is not going to be like, I don't know, some talk show host or something coming up to you in the street and inviting you and offering you money or something. These are going to be like diamonds in the rough that you need to pay attention to. You need to be there to spot them. But there are massive opportunities coming through. And the clarification being Six of Wands, Eight of Wands, this is showing me that your ability to make the most of the opportunities before you will directly impact your success. So if you make the most of the opportunities coming towards you, you will have massive success here with the Six of Wands and the Eight of Wands. This is showing you not just that success is going to be complete, but it's going to happen very quickly. So you could be looking at major opportunities. Again, could be as soon as the following 30 days, but could be further than that as well. Because this is a future. So could be near future, could be distant future. But the bottom line is that you cannot sit around and cry over spilled milk with that Five of Cups coming out twice. You cannot be like, oh, woe is me. You know, with the Five of Cups, do you know what character comes to my mind? If anyone has watched The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, reminds me of Marvin, the depressed robot. No offense. Again, I'm laughing with you, not against you. Not of you. But you know how there's that scene where Marvin is like, I've been talking to the ship's computer. And everybody else is like, they're in a crisis situation and everybody looks up to him like, what did it say? And Marvin goes, it hates me. It's like, that's kind of the vibe. Anyway, by the way, as a parenthesis, I absolutely recommend The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It is brilliant, and very funny and very nerdy, especially. So if you're the nerdy type, you're definitely gonna like it. But, that's kind of the vibe, you know, that's the vibe that you need to have in mind when it comes to the Five of Cups, you know, like someone who is so beaten down and so determined to always see the cup half empty that they just fail to realize what is right in front of them, all right? And so I feel like, again, the Five of Cups coming out twice, even though it annoyed me, it is just further emphasizing this message from Spirit that it's extremely important for you to stay awake within in the near future and in the future in general, because there are massive things heading towards you and you need to be there to grab them, okay? These opportunities that are coming towards you. Because look at what is at stake. Hello, massive, what's the word? Like, undiluted, gosh, I can't think of a good word right now. Basically, what I'm trying to say with the Eight of Wands is that nothing's going to get in your way. So, like, this uncorrupted, undeniable level of success is heading towards you with that Six of Wands clarified by the Eight of Wands, right? This is what I'm seeing. And then we have Page of Swords and clarified by the Death. So this is like a result. So this is the result of the following 30 days. Let me get clarifications again. Please clarify the Death, the Moon. Please clarify the Page of Swords, Four of Swords. Okay, so as a result of the following 30 days, just of the following 30 days, irrespective of whether these opportunities are going to show up within this time frame or if they are going to come further down the line, you are going to see a transformation with respect to your subconscious and with respect to your thought processes, especially the Moon. All right, there's a transformation of the Moon. This means your emotions, your state of mind, your thought patterns. And the Page of Swords clarified by the Four of Swords especially, this is, in one word, you becoming mindful, you becoming more self-aware, you moving more towards the sphere of conscious thinking as opposed to unconscious thinking. All right. How specifically this is going to happen, to a large extent, will depend on you as well. Now, again, these are my 2 cents. I'm not seeing this anywhere, but usually when I get the Moon, I do recommend that people go to therapy if they have the opportunity, because the Moon, especially in tarot, talks about the high risk of just not seeing things clearly, especially with you with the Three of Swords coming out twice and once in the past. This is a lot of heavy emotions, and heavy emotions can create blind spots, can create blockages, can put you in that state of, not seeing things clearly because you're looking at things from this very negative emotional pattern, right? And you don't see a way out by yourself. Now, of course, you could also just do your own work on yourself, practice meditation, for instance, right? Practice self-awareness, because the Four of Swords, again, is like a mind at rest. So again, with Four of Swords, whenever I see this, meditation is definitely a useful tool that you can focus on, right? And either way, one way or another, so even if you do nothing, which I don't recommend, because again, I feel like the reason why people listen to readings is so that they follow some of the advice at least. But even if you do nothing, as with the Four of Swords coming out in the outcome, clarifying the Page of Swords and the Moon and the Death there, this is clearly a message that by the end of the following 30 days, you will have more mental clarity and you will feel more at peace emotionally. And you will be, in other words, better able to make good decisions. All right. Let's get some Astro cards. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is going to happen for them within the next 30 days of their lives? Pluto. Why am I not surprised? Okay, a lot of Uranus as well. And, oh my gosh, 8th house. 8th house and Pluto, repeated themes of the transformation. Not surprising, you had the Death twice. We have the 5th house, joy and play, which is about getting back in touch with your true self. Because 5th house is about heart chakra. It connects to the sun. It connects to your true self. It's about self-expression. It's about dramatic arts, right? 5th house is about the courage to take center stage and to prioritize yourself. But more specifically, it's also connected to teaching, which I think is relevant for some of you here because you already had that message about teaching. And aside from that, you say, again, the Pluto, I won't even touch these because they're obvious, I think, like Pluto and 8th house, just a repeated theme of scorpionic energies, of transformation. And I have to say, one thing that I did not specifically say because I kind of assumed that it's known, but I probably shouldn't have done that, is that, again, 8th house, just like this, I mentioned the Wheel of Fortune here. So, like, basically, the Wheel of Fortune is more like the 8th house energy in the sense that it brings a lot of ups and downs. So you could expect to see a bit of frustrations, right? A bit of growing pains, especially within the next 30 days, but they might continue after that, where, you might be put in, I don't know, things where you just have to think quick on your feet and all that. You have to, come up with solutions at the last minute. You have to adjust to last minute changes, right? So, like, basically a lot of things where life will kind of keep you on your toes because things might not be happening according to schedule. So you might see more of those frustrations within the next month, like I said, but this is to teach you something. This is to teach you resilience, basically. And then the 8th house, more specifically, for some of you, this could be about dealing with in-laws, right? Because the 8th house is the family of the spouse. And this could also be about dealing with things connected to managing other people's money or you relying on other people's money. So this could be about getting a loan, dealing with loans, dealing with mortgage issues, dealing with insurance. Let me think, what else? Things like that, insurance, pensions, everything that is like financial, so it's not based on real money, but I won't get philosophical. It's like, yeah, everything that is like, 8th house, and also 8th house is like taboo subjects. Let's not also forget that. I mean, hello, you're listening to a tarot reading. Maybe you are new to tarot. If yes, welcome. And I'm flattered if I'm among the first that you come across tarot readers on YouTube, I mean. But that would make sense again because 8th house is about occultist or occult-ish sort of activity. So again, you might feel more drawn to taboo sources of information like tarot, like astrology, all kinds of stuff, Wicca, so on and so forth. And then, yeah, like I said, could be on in-laws, and yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. But also 8th house is everything that is secret. It could also be, of course, psychology. So like I said, could be about a suggestion from spirit that if you can afford to, you should go to therapy. Then we have the 11th house, which is community and technology. Now, this could be a message of look towards the people around you because your friends could be helpful, your elder siblings could be helpful, siblings in general, but especially the elder siblings, right? Because the 11th house is about elder siblings. And yeah, this could also be like within the next month, you might have opportunities to go to big social events. 11th house is about having a crowd, and again, especially since you have 5th house, you have that 6 of Pentacles. This could be, like I said, 11th house is also about social causes, like doing things for society at large. So maybe again, like some of you are going to be getting into volunteer work, or you're going to be addressing an audience. Maybe you're going to be teaching or something, or helping gather money for charity, right? So there might be more opportunities for socializing within the next 30 days. And we also have Uranus, which is a repeated theme because like 11th and Uranus are connected to Aquarian energy, which again is pretty avant-garde. On the one hand, pretty progressive. It's also humanitarian in many ways, but it's also pretty aloof and detached. And a lot of the times when I get Aquarian energy, I always think of the King or Queen of Swords, which are, again, hardened through pain and suffering. So yeah. Yeah, but the 5th house, I think this is the sunniest energy, which is telling you focus on teaching, focus on, again, getting in touch with your inner child, maybe healing your inner child. Again, if you have kids, this could be about you spending time with kids. This would make you feel happier, and it's something recommended. But even if not, again, maybe you're a teacher that will spend time with kids because you teach them. And irrespective of this, of whether this is about kids or not, 5th house is about doing what you love, right? So whatever it is that you love, this is something you should be focusing more on. And I think many of you will naturally find that you will focus more on within the next 30 days. And let's not also forget, talking about healing and trauma and all that a lot of people recommend getting into art as a way to process traumatic experiences or a lot of emotional pain and all that, right? So it could tie into the other messages about that. Okay, let me get the Astro dice. See if I get any other messages. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is coming towards them within the next 30 days of their lives? Oh my gosh, we have the number 11 again, so this is very positive. I also have to say 11th house is a house of financial gain as well, especially coming through your own efforts because it's the 2nd house from the 10th house. The moon, again, very strong confirmation that this will be a month where, again, you are healing the subconscious, maybe doing things like shadow work, like understanding what your shadow side is, how you might be self-sabotaging. So basically things of psychology, meditation, basically healing your mind, clearing your emotions, and purging emotions from the past. And then we have Capricorn, which makes sense. This is about you having to keep your eyes on the prize. all right, about staying focused on those long-term goals that you have with respect to your career and your finances, and not allow yourself to be distracted, all right? So this is pretty much it. Very strong messages. I've really enjoyed this reading. I mean, I've enjoyed all 3 readings, but I have to say I think this might be my favorite. Anyway, don't tell the others. But pile number 3, if you have liked this reading, even if you haven't, if you're feeling generous, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, click on the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. Comment in the comment section. Of course, I would love to hear your feedback, as long as you keep it polite. And of course, you can also give recommendations for videos that you would like me to cover in the future on my channel. Aside from that, if you would like to get a private tarot reading from me, check out my video description. You will find my email address there. You can email me for pricing list, reading options, any information you're curious about. I've also left a link in the video description to reviews I've gotten for private readings before. If you're curious to see them, might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me. Aside from that, if you would like to support my channel further and also get exclusive content, you can become a member. Thank you to the people who are members already. It matters a great deal to me, and every single one of you are making a difference, and it's very encouraging. And of course, if you want to become a member, you can, again, click on the join button. You will see the prices in your local currency, and also you can see more details there in the menu. And if you don't see this in the menu, you can also search for membership or members only videos on my channel, and you will see all the videos that I posted so far in the membership section and all the titles they have, all right? Aside from that, of course, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by recommending my channel to anyone you know who's into astrology as well, because I have an astrology channel, but who's into tarot. And of course, you can also leave a tip through the $sign under any of my videos. Any amount is much appreciated. And last but not least, I have an astrology channel called Astro-Martine. You can find it in the video description as well. I focus mainly on Vedic astrology there. I have more than 20 years of experience in reading astrological charts, more than 10 in Vedic, and that is my preferred system nowadays. But I also use a lot of my insights from tropical and other astrological systems that I have explored over the years, like Batsa Ziwei Doshu from Chinese astrology, the Mayan zodiac, and of course numerology, and a bunch of other metaphysical systems. And on my channel, I really like to focus on a practical approach to astrology. I use a lot of famous examples of famous people's horoscopes, and I look into relationship analysis, transits analysis, a lot of personal astrology analysis. So I like to mix astrology and psychology a lot. So if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check it out. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you in my next tarot reading.